Good evening and welcome to the Bankstown Basketball Stadium for this exhibition game between the Sydney Kings Invitational team and the University of Wisconsin, live on the Sydney Kings Facebook page and on YouTube via the Australian Sports Network in association with Live Sport Australia. I'm your host Matt McQuaid and I'm joined tonight by a former player and captain of the Sydney Kings, two-time assistant coach with the Sydney Kings, two-time championship winner with the Sydney Kings, the star of his own Tooheys commercial, the one and only Brad Lightning Rosen.
That's very good. Thanks, Matty. Great to be here in these back-to-back games that we've seen. Kings have played a number of games. We'll just sit here and listen to the national anthem and we'll come back.
Now the Australian National Anthem. The United States and Australian national anthems, both teams meeting at half court to exchange gifts. And Brad, we've been truly blessed over the last fortnight to witness some great college games. We started with Oklahoma University, who were outstanding in their win over the Sydney Kings Invitational team. American University at Liverpool last week, and last night a very athletic Texas learned a very strong lesson against the Illawarra Hawks. Tonight we've got a Wisconsin team. Just 2 years ago they were in the Final Four of the NCAA tournament. It's really been an exciting time for Australian basketball to have all these great teams come down here and play these games.
Yeah, it has, Matt, and I'm just watching Wisconsin actually go back into the change room, which is a nice little ploy. I love seeing that from coaches. He's obviously trying to turn his team on and making sure they switch on correctly. There's only 5 minutes to go until tip-off, and most teams stay out here and get their warm-ups going, but he's obviously hasn't liked something that he's seen in the warm-up, and he's gone to take his team in there to get them focused. So I love that. But getting back to your question, we've just been truly blessed, not only this year, the last 2 or 3 seasons, and we've been really lucky to have some amazing players come down here. You know, calibers of 1, 2, and 3 in the last 2 drafts, and you know, you look at what's happened in Australian basketball. We've got 8 NBA players, or 8 current players in the NBA, and then you look at a Jonah Bolden, who's played out of Bankstown, actually, where we are right now, and his father, Bruce, obviously a good friend of ours, who's played in the NBL. He's also, Jonah got drafted 36 to the Philadelphia 76ers. So tonight will be no different. I think this is a real test for the Sydney Kings. They were tested last week, but this is a very, very good team, and they played American last week and really took care of them quite easily. This is a different caliber.
Wisconsin have been outstanding on 2 or 3 and 1. Their only loss on a last-second three-point basket by Melbourne United. But they play in the Big Ten. They're a power team. They've been to the NCAA tournament 19 consecutive times, back-to-back appearances in the Sweet 16. They've got an excellent freshman coming in Kobe King, another one in Brad Davison, a really good group of people coming in. But the guy who's their real superstar is Ethan Happen, 6'10", smart, you know, great rebounder, does it all for this team, a really all-around versatile talent. And he is going to be a tough matchup for the Kings tonight.
Well, it's been interesting over the last few seasons. We've come to these games and there's always that one player, that one ex-guy. And tonight, that's him. And I can't wait to watch him play. You know, over the last few seasons, we've seen guys like Markel Fultz was here last year, drafted number 1. Then you go back to Alonzo Ball was here 2 years ago. Last year, and he went 2. You go back 2 years ago, and we had Jaylen Brown, who was the 3rd pick in Boston. So we've just had some amazing talent. And the thing that stuck out for me with these guys is you watch them and you say, are they that next level? And then they do something. And they are that next level. And that's what we got to see. And this year, I think it was Travis, was it Young, out of Oklahoma? Was that Travis Young, I think it was?
Trae Young.
Trae Young, sorry.
Trae Young.
And here's another one. You know, like he's been projected as well. So really, really been lucky and blessed with the talent that's come out here.
So we're going to run through the lineups as Wisconsin makes their way back on the floor. So starting with Wisconsin, Dimitri Trice, the brother of Travis Trice out of the Brisbane Bullets. Brevin Pritzel is a redshirt sophomore 6'3" guard. Aleem Ford, 6'8" forward out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. Walt McGrory from Medina, Minnesota. Matt Ferris from Appleton, Wisconsin. Aaron Mosch from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Andy Van Vliet, their 7-foot junior from Antwerp, Belgium. Charles Thomas IV, the 6'8" junior out of Highland, Maryland. TJ Schlunt he's a 6'5" redshirt junior. Khalil Iverson at 6'5" out of Delaware, Ohio. Ethan Happ, the man we talked about from Milan, Illinois, 6'10" forward. Kobe King, so at 6'4" out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. Mr. Wisconsin last year. They're real great superstar freshmen. Alex Ilakainen from Grand Rapids, Minnesota. Michael Ballard from Oak Park, Illinois. Brad Davison, another exciting freshman, 6'3" from Maple Grove, Minnesota. And Nathan Ruvers, a 6'10" forward out of Lakeville, Minnesota. Head coach of Wisconsin is Greg Gard in his 3rd year, and to Brad Rosen for the Sydney Kings lineup.
Yeah, they will start. You'll see there Clayton Carfino. He's his father, Mr. Magic Steve Carfino's son. John Cruz had some good minutes last week. Isaac Humphries, he was a little bit quiet in that first quarter of the first game. He has just dominated the next 7 quarters in the 2 games that they've played. Really watch for him to go well tonight. Jaden Weldon, another young guy. Tommy Garlett, veteran of the NBL. He's had some really good minutes and played some really solid times. Darcy Maloney, very impressive with the minutes he's had. Dane Pinot, he's had limited minutes because of foul trouble, but hopefully tonight he stays out of that trouble so we can see what he can do because he's got game inside and outside. Adam Thosby recently just signed as the 11th player, if I'm not mistaken, for the Sydney Kings. Really streak shooter, very athletic, gets up and down the floor. Denga Kuth, well, he came out that first game, hit 5 threes and lifted the roof in Penrith when we were out there last weekend. Had a quiet game last one, but I'm sure he'll see some minutes tonight. And Christian Jelena played really well the last game. I had about 15 points and played really well against the Americans. So head coach, of course, Mr. Basketball himself, Andrew Gaze, his sidekicks, Leonard Copeland, Luke Kendall, and the manager, Laurie Loza Watterson.
All right, for those of you watching in Sydney or even New South Wales, season tickets for the Sydney Kings 2017-2018 National Basketball League season are on sale now. Sydney Kings are leading the basketball revolution. Memberships are on sale and start from $84. It all kicks off October the 7th at Kudos Bank Arena, so go to sydneykings.com to join. It's the revolution you will want to be a part of.
Well, I've said it every time you've mentioned those tickets, Matty. I've said it every game, and the simple answer is you got to be there. That's a place to be.
This broadcast is brought to you by the Australian Sports Network in association with our partners, Live Sport Australia, and by our sponsor, JVC and AV Group Technologies. JVC, the perfect experience. Just bring up the starting lineup.
How good are those JVC products, eh?
They've been
Aren't
awesome.
they good? Love that stuff.
So it'll be Trice and Davison in the backcourt. Ford at the 3 spot. Ruvers and Happ up
Just
front.
a quick one there, Matt, on the left there. Trice, his brother, actually has played in the NBL. Travis Trice, who was with Cairns and just recently signed with the Brisbane Bullets, so nice to see a bit of family there. We talk about the starters here. We'll have Cruz and Thosby in the backcourt. Tommy Garlett will play that 3-4 role with Dane Pinot, and the man in the middle, Isaac Humphries. We should just mention to our viewers here, the Sydney Kings are without a number of players. Kevin Lish obviously out injured. He's back training, looking good, but they don't want to even put him out on the court at the moment, so he'll just take his time. And, of course, we do have to congratulate our 3 Sydney Kings players that have just won a gold medal at the Asian Cup, and that is, of course, Brad Newley, Jason Cadee, thank you, and Todd Blanchfield. I'm still getting used because Todd has just recently signed with the Kings, so it's just not rolling off the tongue.
Yeah. So very warm welcome to everybody watching in Madison, Wisconsin. The great state of Madison, the great city, or the great city of Madison, the great state of Wisconsin, of course. And all over.
And aren't they true supporters? 4:30 in the morning, God bless them.
Absolutely. This powerhouse team that went 27-10 in the NCAA's last season and features a young man who finished as a finalist in all 3 National Player of the Year awards. And the biggest 2, the Wooden and the Naismith Award, Ethan Happ. Really excited to see him.
And it's interesting. He's not like Matt. It's not like he's 7 foot. Obviously, no. He's not a footer. He hasn't got that massive body. You can just tell. And you said it to me earlier, like that Christian Leitner type, and that is a perfect, example. And you look at him, and look, he's in the jump and everything, and look at him jumping up and down. He's ready to go, isn't he?
What a matchup against Isaac Humphries out of the University of Kentucky. So here we go. We referee Brett Hogan, Bankstown born and bred.
Yep.
Brett is...
Few tech fouls in this gym.
That's right. You've had a few.
Yep.
Wisconsin wins the tip, and we are underway. It'll be Ford to get us started. Straight away, they get it inside to Happ. Leaf Ford apron from 3. They've been excellent from 3 in this tour of theirs. Misses, but there's that man Happ with the O board and the first score for Wisconsin.
Good signs there. Look, they get the ball inside straight away to Happ. He then kicks it back for the 3, miss it, but he's in position for the offensive rebound. Nice offense to start the game with.
Pinot looking for Garland, fighting his way inside. Gallup on the turnaround fade, and he's short with it. Now here comes Brad Davison. Excellent freshman point guard. Again, they look to the big guy. Good patience, up and under, score it. And already, Brad, Ethan Happ is making a statement.
Well, not only that, Andrew Gaze has just jumped up. It's not even a minute into the game. He's called a timeout. He is not happy. 2 reasons he's not happy. Number 1, offensively, he was not happy with that first possession where Tommy Garlett's taking a fadeaway jump shot. That's not the look after 1 pass. He's standing. You just see him in the top here. He is yelling at his players. We're obviously not going to be able to hear it, but he is just saying he's not happy at all with the offense. And then secondary, he's talking about defense. That's 2 low catches for Happ. Now, there is no question that they would have spoken about him in the gym. And they would have said this guy is the one that can actually go to work. And he has 2 deep catches. Straight away, he's got 4 points going to the free throw for 1 extra. Not how you want to play.
Andrew Gaze is as angry as I have ever seen him.
Well, I love it.
This is the nicest guy in the world right now, beloved by everybody, and the veins are popping out of that head. He is not happy.
Well, I love it. That's something that was missed last year.
Yep.
And one of the things that he has mentioned before is sometimes he's such the nicest guy in the world that you don't think he can yell at anyone. He's just telling his team he's not happy. That is one of the best timeouts I've seen him do since coaching the Sydney Kings.
This youngster, Ethan Happ, at the line for the 3-point play, and nothing but the bottom of the net. He's got all 5 of Wisconsin's points.
I'm going to guess this will be about 5 or 6 passes at a minimum after that timeout the Kings are going to be doing.
Humphries out of the University of Kentucky. Kings relying on him a lot this year. 6 on the shot clock, and they lose it ahead of the pack. Leaking out, and just a little layup there for Dimitri Trice. And Wisconsin looking very dangerous early. Oh, Humphries just bowls over. Couldn't quite see. Looked like Davison. And they're going to call Davison for the foul.
Yeah, right call there. Humphries was just trying to go baseline on a nice pick-to-pick action there by the Sydney Kings. And he stood straight in his way. You've got to give that man tan to get through. Good call.
Thoseby to inbound. Humphries looking to go to work on a turnaround and hits it. So impressive against American, Brad. 11 of 15 from the field. Most of those dunks and layups that time. That was a tough shot, contested jumper.
That was tough. Now this is where they've got to get it done this end.
Trice pulls up, and that's short. Good rebound, Garlop. It's been another issue for the Kings early on is their rebounding, just as it was last season, and a foul off the ball. Hap and Humphreys fighting down low. Check that Ruvers, and they're going to call Nathan Rubers for the foul.
Well, that's good from Isaac Humphreys. Firstly, great rebound by Tom Garlop, as you mentioned there, Matt. But then what Isaac did is he ran straight rim to rim, and he's starting to feel this with the jump shot now. Beautiful stepping out, but running that rim to rim really creates havoc down there for the bigs.
Isaac Humphreys, 2 of 2. He's got all 4 of Sydney's points. Hap, not renowned as a shooter. Davison is. 10 on the shot clock. Hap looking to attack. Goes up with the right hand, and Humphreys swallows that board down. Kings on the run. Thosby, he likes that 3 ball. He's got it.
Well, beautiful pass there by John Cruz. He pushed the ball, waited for the defense to make a decision, and he kicked it on the corner there. Beautiful done by Thosby, and he can shoot that ball.
Ruvers. Good defense by Thosby, fighting with Davison down low. Davison looking for the step through, goes in, score it, and the foul. Brad Davison showing some excellent strength in the low block.
Well, I like the patience. He looked to get the ball. Good defense, as you called there, Matt, by Thosby to fight around. But then they stayed with it, waited patiently, then rolled it in. And he had some strength down low to be able to get there on a 3-point play.
Big 7-footer. Andy Van Vliet comes into the ball game out of Antwerp in Belgium. As Davison cashes in the 3-point play. Thosby. Humphreys to set the pick. And knocked away. Poor pass back from Thosby. Here's Davison. Out. Cross-court pass. Good ball movement. Van Vliet. They kick it out. Davison swings it out. Trice saves it somehow. Corner 3 is way off. Another O board to Hap. And they'll reset. Resets to 14 seconds in FIBA play off a 24-second shot clock. 5 on the shot clock. Trice, elbow, Jay, yes.
Well, he got a good look the first time, didn't he? And it just missed out. And isn't it just happens when good players like Hap, he's just always in the right place. That's about his 3rd offensive rebound already, just being in good position. And a couple of bad sloppy turnovers as that foul will be caught on Isaac Humphreys. Just some sloppy turnovers for the Sydney Kings. And like all college teams that we've seen here, Matt, they're solid when they get that stop, they are off to the races.
And that's a big call. That's Isaac Humphreys' 2nd foul, and the Kings Invitational team very light on for bigs, to say the least.
Well, Matt, I'm also concerned they're light on for the rest of the season as well.
Yeah.
Something we've expressed a couple of times here. They do have some imports to come in, but they got a bit of work to do down there.
Trice with an impressive start. Hap. Trice with 11 on the shot clock. Fires away again, short that time. Rebound Garlop. Humphreys already hit a couple of outside shots. Good defense by Wisconsin, and really up and in at the moment. Pinot. Humphreys looks at a 3, and that's off. And Van Vliet looked like he copped a finger in the eye there on the rebound, and they call the foul on Dane Pinot.
Not sure if that's
that's going to be on Garlop.
Not sure if that's the actual inside-outside action you want with your 4-man in the block and your 5-man on the outside post shooting a 3. It's really just playing into Wisconsin's hand by them able to now get the defensive rebound, get out and run, or in this instance causing a foul for the Sydney Kings that are already low on bigs, so they have to make sure they stay in the game.
Van Vliet just head straight to the bench here, replaced by Alex Ilakainen. Now Wisconsin by 5. Early on here at Bankstown Basketball Stadium. A wide open 3. Can't leave any of them open. Ilakainen straight off the bench and drains it. 8 straight points for the Badgers, and it's 15-7. They have shot the ball very, very well on tour. Very fundamentally sound team.
Well, what they're doing here, and you just watched, and a guy like Tommy Garlett was able to use his body and nice finish there. But for the other guys that are not used to playing at this level and this intensity, it's making the Sydney Kings rush what they're doing, and they're a step to 2 steps outside the three-point line when they're starting. Hard to play offense at that time.
Trice, impressive early. Davison. Oh, that's going to be a side ball, and that's fortunate for Thosby because he committed that cardinal sin. Don't foul the jump shooter.
Yeah, and here's what we spoke about, Matt. Those cheapy little fouls that were happening down the other end on the offensive rebounds or the turnovers. Now, just a simple foul like that, 2 free throws. You have to take care of your possession so that you're not giving. There's 4 minutes 42 left in the first quarter here, and that is nearly half a quarter where they're going to get to shoot a free throw every time there's a foul. Poor defense by the Sydney Kings.
Yeah, Kings in the penalty off that foul regardless as Buchanan makes the first. Charles Thomas about to enter the ball game. And another offensive rebound, that off the missed free throw. Coach killer. Davison using the screen. Forces his way in off the window. Good. Boy. Brad Davison.
He's solid, isn't he?
Already with 5 in the game, and he's been very strong.
Here's this shuffle for the Sydney Kings. Melbourne Tigers.
Pinot with a left hand off the window. Brad Pinot. And Brad, you talked about it. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, great move
from Brad.
Yeah, look, that was the second cut on the shuffle that one of the Melbourne Tigers have played for many years when Andrew Gaze was playing. And what that allowed Brad Pinot to do is he kicked the ball to the wing, cut straight to the basket. And what was really nice is he got the ball on the block, looked to go middle, but he saw there was a lot of help there, span back on his left, and a nice finish, and he'll go to the line to make it for 3.
And a very solid game against American. He was 6 of 8 from the field for 12 points. And he hits the 3-point play there. Now the Invitational team trying to stay close with this very impressive Badger outfit.
Sydney Kings putting some pressure up on the floor here.
Kings looking to up the ante defensively. Pritzel, good 3-point shooter, not that time. Rebound, again another offensive rebound, this time to Iverson. Pritzel hit 7 threes in his first game on tour against the New Zealand Breakers. Davison, he's been hot and he's long on that. And here's Christian Jelena, had a fine game against American last Thursday night at Liverpool. Cruz, 12 on the shot clock. Darcy Malone. Thosby fires and no good, and all Badgers on the glass with Iverson. Big, strong swingman is Khalil. And they're going to call Cruz for the foul. And that's going to send the Badgers back to the free throw line. You talked about it, Brad, those 5 quick fouls, and it's just tough the rest of the way in this period.
And when you're going to come over the shoulder there and then as they're trying to roll it in, you're going to get called for that a lot. But I like the way Wisconsin plays and looks to post up their guards. It's not something that a lot of teams do. They don't like to do that, but obviously with their guards, they are strong-bodied guards, and it's something that they've posted up quite a number of times tonight. Really enjoying that offensive end.
Makes them both. And Davison takes a seat.
Great minutes.
He's got 7 points. Great start for an outstanding freshman. Malone. Looking for Thosby on the curl. Thosby fires away and hits.
Well, that's beautiful offense by the Sydney Kings. They had a double down there and they ran that play to get Thosby the open look up the top. Beautiful big double screen, and he knocked it down like he should.
Roovers. Thomas to set the pick. And tried to give and go, and it's knocked out of bounds. No, they say thrown out of bounds by Dimitri Trice, Sydney basketball. Thoseby. Now, Pinot. Darcy Maloney played with Ben Simmons for a year at Louisiana State University. Good off the ball movement by Thoseby. Nice floater in the lane and send him to the line for the N1. Brad, he was just moving brilliantly off the ball that time and earned that one.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. You look at the play here, and there's Thoseby coming up, and he gets that body check just down low. What I liked about that is the play before when they ran that, and that's their shuffle offense. Brad Pinot actually got the ball down low, and because he ran hard to that spot, Brad Pinot, it actually opened up for Thoseby, so that was good offense all round. Did I just say Brad Pinot?
Twice.
I did it again, didn't I? Dane Pinot. Just for our listeners, Brad is his father, and I actually played against him.
That's
so
right.
I'm going to struggle to be calling Dane all year. God. Maybe I just like the name Brad.
Oh, I'd say so. It's not a bad name, is it? The Kings zone just causing a couple of issues at the moment for Wisconsin, and that's Malone goes down on a push from Thomas, and I don't know. I don't know if we'll get a replay on that, but there was a bit of floppage going on that one.
Couldn't agree more.
Eye.
That's an absolute flop. That's a
he got away
terrible
with,
call.
it's a terrible
call.
Got away with one.
But let's give it to Sydney Kings here. They were down 15-8 there at one stage, and they're now coming down here to either equal it up or potentially go one ahead.
Thoseby again moving around off the ball and misses a layup. The easy one. And he's been dangerous. Now straight to the rack, and it's talked out of it by Dengakuth. 7-1, number 30 on your screen.
What I'd like to see him play now is that double high pick that they just had for Thoseby the play before.
Cruz pulls up and is short. Rebound Hap. And here comes Trice.
This is where it's important that the point guard knows what's going on, and there's a foul there again, and this is going to send him to the free throw line. And you just got to show your hands. It's the right call down low. Show your hands, otherwise it's the easiest call in the book. And when you're in the foul trouble that you're in, you're giving them points, and you've got to stay away with that. But getting back to the Kings, Thoseby is feeling it. He's just missed that little gimme layup. That's fine, but he's hit a couple of threes. He's hit a nice little jumper. As a point guard now, you need to go back to that. As a shooter, when you're in the motion and you're feeling it, keep going at it. Go to the well, as they say, and run that dry. They need to be going back to him and get him some open looks.
1 or 2 at the line for Nathan Roovers. And it's a 3-point game. Much better off-the-ball movement. Thoseby just jacks it and hits it. He's feeling it. He is feeling it. He has 11 of Sydney's 20, and it's a 1-point ball game. And this is the best we've seen Adam shoot the basketball throughout these college games. It's straight to the rack. Goes Kobe King, can't make it happen. And Kings now with a chance to take the lead. Jelena. They leave Darcy Malone open, and he hits a three. The 7-footer knocks one down, and the Sydney Kings take the lead, 23-21.
Beautiful offense there. Give that one to Christina Giulini. Pushed the ball really well, did the good point guard and got it to the elbow. And now watch this man go to work down low.
It's the guy they want.
Poetry in motion. Oh, nice block.
Great block by Darcy Malone. Takes it away from Ethan Happ. Weldon. So they're going to shot and game clock identical. Thoseby's been on fire. Not that time. They got some time. Here's Trice from half court. Throws it up at the buzzer, and it's no good. And that's the end of the first period. Dominated initially by Wisconsin, but a terrific fight back by the Sydney Kings Invitational team, led by Adam Thoseby. We're going to take a quick break. Stay with us. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Bankstown Basketball Stadium, a sellout Bankstown Basketball Stadium. About 600 in attendance, so it's not the biggest gym in the world, but they are packed in to see what so far, Brad Rosen, has been an excellent ball game in this first quarter. Take us through the quarter time stats.
Yeah, it has been a great first quarter, and like you said, Sydney Kings, they didn't start well, but they've come home really well in the second half. On the second half of that first quarter, Adam Thosby was dynamite. 11 points. The Sydney Kings are shooting 64% from the field, Matt McQuaid, down to 41 for Wisconsin. They're shooting 3 of 6 from the three-point line, 1 of 6 for Wisconsin there. Brad Davidson, he was great for them. He's come off, he's off the bench now. He's onto the bench, I should say, and he's got 7 points. Rebounds, very minimal in it. Assists are 5 to the Sydney Kings. Turnovers 2 apiece, but really the story there was I thought Adam Thosby did a really good job. I'd also like to say sorry there to Dane Pinot. I know I called him Brad a number of times. I'm going to get that right. But congratulations to Sydney Kings on the back of a good first half, and I'm going to go back to the Andrew Gaze timeout in that first minute. Love him setting the tone. Great job.
And once again, for those of you watching in Sydney or New South Wales, season tickets for the Sydney Kings 2017-2018 National Basketball League season are on sale now. Sydney Kings are leading the basketball revolution. Memberships are on sale and start from $84. It all kicks off October the 7th at Kudos Bank Arena, so go to sydneykings.com to join. It's the revolution you will want to be a part of. And just seeing Isaac Humphries with 4 points and didn't play much of that first period. One of the reasons, Brad, I was talking to head coach Andrew Gaze before the game. Isaac's been a bit crook in training this week. They weren't even sure if he was going to play tonight, but obviously as down as they are on depth across the board, especially with the bigs, as we've said, he's declared himself fit to play.
Well, that probably accounts why Denga Kuth's played quite a few minutes in that first quarter there, Matt. I mean, he's a good player, but, you know, and he's coming back on the court, and Isaac has come on as well. But, yeah, you may see those minutes. And, look, he showed enough to Andrew Gaze in the first 2 games that they've played anyway, that Isaac's a good pickup for them. I know Jeff Van Groningen thinks very highly of him. I like him as a player. My only thing I'm worried about is as a rookie and going up against someone like an AJ Ogilvy, who absolutely dominated last night's game. And then you go round the league and the bigs, he's going to have a tough season.
So we're underway in the second quarter. Matt McQuaid and Brad Rosen here with you from Bankstown Basketball Stadium. Garlop, cross-court pass, Jelena jacks it and hits it. All net, Christian Jelena.
Great shot there, beautiful pass by Tom Garlop as well.
Kings 4 of 7 from deep, and they lead by 5. Trice pulls up from 18, swish. Dimitri Trice knocks that one down.
Well, the Sydney Kings need to work out what they want to do on the offensive there, on the defense, I should say, with the on-ball screens. Are they going to slip it? Are they going to double it? But right now, Trice is having a field day coming off there.
Jelena just hit one, go for back-to-back, and he's got it. Okay, Christian Jelena with 5 quick points to start this period, and it's back to 5. Kobe King, Mr. Basketball in Wisconsin in his high school senior year. Davison fires away and no good. And Garlop knocks it out of bounds. So that'll be Wisconsin basketball. So far, Wisconsin 1 of 7 from deep. And that hasn't been the story of their tour. We talked about this. Shot the ball exceptionally well for the most part. Trice, Davison looking to attack inside, that strength. And count, no, wave it away. What have they called here? An offensive foul?
No, they called it travel, and I think that's the right call as well. He did have that big double jump stop, but he just moved his feet there again, and that was a good call.
Now, after Andrew Gaze tore strips off his team in that early timeout, to their credit, they have responded. Garlop with that spin move, patented. Good patience from Tom, and draws the foul.
And that's just Tommy Garlop to a T, isn't he? He wanted the ball down low. He gave a good seal. It was good defense by Wisconsin as well. Got a body on him, but he just got him, felt where he was, and as soon as he felt him on his high shoulder, spun, went straight to the basket. Great move by Tom Garlop.
Heading into his 6th season as a Sydney King. It's remarkable when you think about it. And only 5 players.
Yeah, can you stop reminding us about that,
sorry.
please, mate? Only
I'm
played,
sorry, mate.
Yeah, you get me.
Oh, I didn't even bring up the 99 games yet.
Oh, jeez.
Brad Rosen.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, you know what Mrs. McQuaid will say. The bromance is well and truly over now.
Never.
So back in play. And again, this pressure just seemed to have got the Kings going, Brad, once they decided to go. Oh, look at that behind the back pass by Happ. And almost stolen. Kings, good recovery, and that's out of bounds.
Well, it's just a little bit of sloppy offense there from Wisconsin. They're really not running their sets. They look to be waiting to see what they should be run, or if they're waiting, then it's like, well, hang on, one guy's not in position. It's not looking as fluid as it was in that first quarter. What's going to help here? They need to play some good defense, get some stops so they can get out and run and get the flow back.
Humphreys just fumbles it away.
And that helps.
That's a very cheap turnover.
He'll look at the coach and say, sorry, coach, I've been fluey. That's why I turned it over.
Now, Andy Van Vliet, who copped a shot in the face early, looks better, so he comes in. Aleem Ford takes a seat for the Badgers, who are down 7. Their largest deficit of this game to date. Once again, that zone causing some problems. Akuth with that incredible length at 7-1. Happ on that great spin. Look at the footwork by the young man.
So true.
Trice with a deep 3, and he cashes it in.
Well, for someone like
Trice,
Trice, yeah, he's come off that screen. He's got a nice jump shot, and you've got to be there on the catch. If he's launching it, too late. Right there on the catch.
Leads Wisconsin with 9, just their second 3-point basket of the ball game. And knocked away smartly. Poor entry pass. And Iverson knocked it away. Happ. Van Vliet. Happ. Now the left-hander jacks it. That's no good. Rebound. Big rebound by Humphreys. And knocked away brilliantly again. Another steal by Iverson. And a foul in the open court. Smart foul by Tom Garlop.
Couldn't agree more, Matty. Good foul. Nothing good was going to happen there defensively for the Sydney Kings. He took a shot for the team just to slow it down. Jaden Weldon will get a break here because Andrew Gaze was not happy. Number 1 with the defense when Trice hit the 3. And then down the other end offensively, he tried to pass it into Tommy Garlop and they got a turnover there. So like all good coaches, you just can't see he's on the right of screen there. You can see it now. He's just talking to his player, letting him know what's he's done wrong. Go sit down, think about it, and he'll get back on later.
Happ inside. Van Vliet on the up fake, and it's stripped. I think Garlop got his hand there and stripped it away. Humphreys. Jelena. Kuth sets a pick, gets it back on the pick and roll, loses it. Happ was there. Ethan Happ on the run. Kicks it out. Van Vliet, they leave him wide open, and that's short, though. Rebound, Denga Kuth.
Looked better. That first shot was a little bit feet not set. That one was beautiful feet, I should say, set. Launched it, but unfortunately just a little bit short.
Cruz looking inside to Humphreys. Great matchup with Ethan Happ. Humphreys throws a great pass inside, but unfortunately, Jelena can't hit it. Iverson down low. Here's Van Vliet. Good defense by Humphreys.
Great defense, good call.
Davison with 10 on the shot clock. Van Vliet not shy, off the window, no good. Both teams a little cold at the moment. Cruz looking to explore. Cross-court pass wide open. Jelena fires away. That's in and out. Nakuth knocks it out of bounds.
Well, I like the sub here from Andrew Gaze. Adam Thosby coming back in. He had a great first quarter there with 11 points leading all scorers.
Dane Pinot also comes in.
Also Dane Pinot, that's right, Matty.
You're the one that's going to be on Fox Sports, mate. So, which is great news. Be calling many Illawarra games, which I know you're looking forward to. Of course,
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I
got the. You're an honorary Hawkhead now. You'll have to hand in your Kings
Oh, look,
membership,
I'm just
mate.
really, I'm just really excited for the season. I will call number Hawks. I get Kings and your Cans, and I'm just so excited to see the NBL. It's just getting better and better each year, and the players and the teams and everyone is just bolstering up, and I think it's just going to be yet another great season as Trice there pulls up and misses that jump shot, but that'll be off Wisconsin, so that'll be Sydney Kings ball.
It'll be Dane Pinot, went to St Mary's College. Quite a few players with
Beautiful
NCAA
alumni,
D1,
isn't it? Yeah.
D2 experience out there.
St Mary's, it's half Australian, that team, isn't it?
It's the Aussie basketball factory, if ever there was one. Look at Garlett fight down low with Brevin Pritzel, and he draws the foul.
And that's the smarts of Tommy. Just letting the ref know, threw his head back, let everyone in the gym know he might have got a tiny little hit there, but it looked like he got shot from a sniper up above.
Yeah, we can say veteran move, right?
Yeah.
12 on the shot clock. Cruz. Pinot comes to set the pick, gets it back on the give and go, fine pass. Beautiful pick and roll action between John Cruz and Dane Pinot, give Pinot the deuce.
Well, it's just been one of those simple plays, just a double high pick and roll.
Now firing away from the corner, and that's no good again. Their struggles from three continue. He's Thoseby on the run. Thoseby pulls up from the foul line, and he's drawn the foul from Dimitri Trice.
Yeah, good work by Thoseby. Pulls up, and he just gets him from behind there. You could see his hand just hit him just in the back. And that's enough, and he'll go to the line for two. Thoseby's really played good in this first half. Given him good energy, good rebound on that instance. It was anyone's ball, but he wanted it more than anyone else, and he got it and pushed himself down.
The thing is, Brad, what we've talked about with this young man and what you've been so impressed with is his energy and activity. I mean, we know he can shoot the ball. We're seeing it tonight. The first couple of games, he really struggled with his shot, particularly against Oklahoma. I think he was about 5 of 16 from the field for that game. American, he had his struggles as well and got hot a little bit late. But really, you kind of don't worry about that too much. What you're looking for is that energy and that intensity off the bench.
Well, it is, and when you're a pure shooter like that, and if things aren't dropping, then the answer is, what are you going to give your team? Otherwise, he can't play you. And that's what he's done. He's been able to get the energy and make things happen, and that's all Andrew Gaze wants.
Andy Van Vliet knocks it down from the perimeter, and it's back to 6. Garlett bangs bodies, and no good. Pritzel flopped to the floor. And they call a foul. It's going to be a pushing foul on Darcy Malone. His first. And the Kings' third team foul for the period. Davison, impressive early.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that too, Matt. They've done a good job on him in this his second stint, I guess. See how they're doubling. Well, that's not so good, and that's lucky enough that it's not going to send him to the free throw line. But they've done a good job to get the ball out of his hands.
And Kobe King about to step into the ball game, and Dimitri Trice is going to take a seat, and he has been outstanding early on.
Yeah, very impressive.
He
Where's the number 0,
points.
like his brother?
Yeah.
Now, you are the college guru. What college did Travis go to?
Michigan State.
Oh, jeez, you know everything. Thought I'd get you on that one.
Played for one of the all-time legend coaches. Another one of my heroes is there's a foul underneath, and that's 2 quick ones for Darcy Malone. Yeah, the great Tom Izzo at Michigan State. That's 3 fouls for Malone, and Isaac Humphries, who really physically
he doesn't look right.
He doesn't look right,
yeah,
does he? You know, he is struggling. He's definitely not 100%, but he's going to give it a go.
And I think this is the thing now, like you see the Kings, they've played well this first half, there's no question. The one thing that they are really going to struggle with, depth. And I don't mean during the season. They've got 4 starters, literally anyone could start. Not to mention, 3 imports that they could play as well. So potentially up to 6, 7 guys that are going to play a number of minutes for this team. So a number of these guys just won't even see time. But because they're so down on numbers, Wisconsin look like they've got 300 on the end of their bench. They're going to keep coming all night. So that fourth quarter, if Wisconsin stays here, that could become interesting.
They have 17 players on their roster, would you believe?
Wouldn't you if you can get a flight to Australia?
Absolutely. Gallup's got to get it up with 2 seconds on the shot clock, and that's short. So that was a poor offensive set by the Kings. Andrew Gay's not happy about that. And he's going to get Christian Jelena back into the game. Tommy Gallup is going to take a seat. And Wisconsin hanging around, not shooting the ball well from 3, as we said. They're just 2 of 10 from the outside. I just feel like at some stage that will change. 3 ball in the air, and that's short from Kobe King, and that's going to be over the back. Referee Matt Townsend on the call. I believe he's going to get Ethan Happ, and he does. And the Badgers are in the penalty, so the Sydney Kings Invitational team will shoot 2.
Well, there's just a bit of confusion there. The bench did put their 2 fingers up, Matt. I did see that as if to say that's 2 shots, but obviously they got it wrong, and they are just looking at each other having a bit of a smile. But it's only 14 fouls, so now both teams in 4. Any fouls from now on, free throws will be shot.
Oh, that was a poor pass. It's straight to the passing lane. Look out, Happ goes in off the window. Now Ethan Happ has 7 points, and it's back to 2.
Impressive. Good defense. That's your big man getting in the lanes and pushing up.
Thoseby not shy and misses. Humphreys tries to fight for the boards, but Davison comes away with it.
Right now, I think the Sydney Kings need a timeout. They're looking a little bit tired. This is what happens with depth.
Pritzel,
step back 3.
Brevin Pritzel, and he gives Wisconsin the lead. Timeout, Sydney Kings, Brad Rosen.
Yeah, just the right call there by Andrew Gage. You just sense it, Wisconsin. They got in the lanes, got a layup. They get a step back 3. Poor offense there on the Sydney Kings on a number of occasions. One, unfortunately, like you said, they hit a jump shot, which was poor offense. They then got missed jump shot. Turnover, yeah, that's not what they needed. So good timeout by the Sydney Kings, and you could just see their legs fading a little bit there. Halftime cannot come quick enough for this crew right now.
Just a couple of quick shout-outs, and yes, the first one, as always, to my beautiful girl, Dr. Rachel Coxon.
Mrs. McQuaid.
Don't let her mother or her sister hear that one.
They're the ones that tell me.
I know. I realise these things. And also, unfortunately, they couldn't make it tonight, which is very unusual for them. Paul and Jenny Fox, who are friends of the broadcast and great supporters of the Sydney Kings and have been for many years. And, you name it, you name a stadium, they've been to that stadium.
Yeah.
Pre-season or regular season, you name it. So, hope you're enjoying the coverage, guys.
Yeah, it's been great. We've had a number of games and we've had so many people watching, which is fantastic, and not only here, abroad as well. And
well, I mean, I got to say, I don't know if he's watching at the moment, but we had Fran Fischilla last night, and I had no idea. Otherwise, I would have given the great man a shout out. I mean, there's a man who knows his international basketball. Great writer, great broadcaster, does an outstanding job.
We got the greatest job in the world. We just get to sit here and watch basketball and talk basketball. It's like sitting on a couch.
Absolutely.
There's that double high pick looking for the 3. This time they get the on ball.
Humphreys. 7 on the shot clock. Cruz just jacks it, and that's short. Rebound, Nathan Rubers.
Not the counter they looked for. They tried to get a double high. That didn't work. They got an on ball. That didn't work. Then they had to shoot a 3. Good defense by Wisconsin.
Happ. Now Pritzel comes around a screen and cans another triple. Brevin Pritzel getting hot late in this second period.
Well, they just need to take the air out of the ball here, the Sydney Kings.
And we talked about it. They've been struggling. from the outside, and all of a sudden, they're up 4. Now here's Happ dribbling up the ball. And it's stolen. Good play by Pinot. Thosby straight to the rack, and it scores off the window. Fine play by Adam Thosby. Leads the Kings. He's got 15 in the game. Rebound to Pinot. Here comes the Kings the other way. Thosby again looking dangerous, and he's fouled by Brevin Pritzel. That's going to put Thosby on the line for 2. Christian Jelena had a really solid game in his first outing against American University last Thursday. Played for Whitworth College in the NCAA, which is a Division III school. And we've got a timeout that's been called here by Wisconsin. Brad, what are you expecting in these next 30 seconds?
Well, I think these are good times for coaches, especially in pre-season, because what they'll be doing is now he'll be looking to run a play, Wisconsin. He'll be looking to run a play so that he might be saying to them now something like, right, we're 2 down, or this is this is to go in by 3 up, 4 up, or let's run a play and see what we can get, because they may use that play later on in the year. So this is exactly what preseason is for. This is what they'll be talking about on how they can get a good look, whether it goes into Happ, whether it goes into the 3-point shooters, because they've been shooting the ball well the last couple of minutes. You then look at the Sydney Kings. What he'll want is, number one, good defense, no foul. Don't give them free throws, and then you're going to get the last look of the game, of the half, I should say, because there's only 24-second shot clock. So now they run their offensive play, and what are they going to run? And you'd obviously think they're going to go to Thosby. He's been the man this half.
Adam Thosby, 5 of 9 from the field for his 15 points. He's got a couple of rebounds and a couple of assists. And he's the only Sydney King in double figures, so he's really led the way well. One other quick shout out from me to my friend Cameron Luke, who has done an outstanding job calling Melbourne United games.
That was a great game.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Him and Rowan Short did a terrific job.
Absolutely. For
their games. And once again, we talk about these colleges coming out, and really impressive that teams like Sydney, like Melbourne, like Cairns as well, and Aaron Fern, I know he's watching because he watches everything. So Fernie, hope you're well, mate, and the family.
Love watching his games.
Jelena hits them both, and it's back. It's a tie ball game. 38 seconds left. Good pressure up the floor, but Trice looks down low, knocked away beautifully by Jelena, almost loses it, manages to save it somehow. And
well, that's pretty poor offense from Wisconsin. That's not what you want last play of the offensive end for them. They need to get a stop now.
Sydney will play for the last shot. Three seconds left. Left-hand hook shot is no good. Rebound, Kobe King. Length of the court. Rainbow shot is just off. And that is half-time. And we are tied. It is the Sydney Kings Invitational team 38. University of Wisconsin 38. Exciting period of action. And very shortly we're about to have Brad Rosen with the star of the first half for the Kings, Adam Thosby. Let's go right now to Brad Rosen.
Adam, thanks for joining us. Really good first half. You've got to be happy with your numbers. You've been playing a couple of games now. You look like you're really in the groove now. How do you feel tonight?
Good tonight. Shots dropping. Getting the ball on time in the right places. Guys are getting...
Is it just me, or every time do you take a shot, I see Bud Copeland jump up off the bench wanting it to drop? He must love watching you play and shooting those threes.
I mean, I guess I can't see him when I'm shooting it, so if he's doing that, that's good, I guess.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where have you come from? Where have you been playing?
Lived in Europe growing up. Was born in Melbourne. Played in the US. Kind of all over the place my whole life, really.
And you've just played with the Sydney Kings now. You've signed with them. Where do you see your role and what you're going to do?
I'm just trying to do whatever I can to help the team win. I don't mind what my role is as long as we're winning games. I'm happy.
Great answer. Good luck for the second half.
Thank you.
Adam Thoseby with Brad Rosen. So we're going to take a break here. Stay with us. You're watching Sydney Kings basketball on the Australian Sports Network. Welcome back to the Bankstown Basketball Stadium. We've got a really good one in progress for you here between the Sydney Kings Invitational team and the University of Wisconsin. Scores are tied at 38 at the half. And Brad Rosen, talk us through the halftime stats for us.
Well, like you said, Matt, the scores are tied, and the game's showing that as well. You look at their shooting, the 50% for the Sydney Kings, 42% there for Wisconsin, but that was actually a lot lower, and they weren't shooting the ball well. They came back with a couple of nice threes at the end there, which pushed everything up. But overall, you look at both teams, and there's not a whole lot in it, of course, being 38 all, but it's really been a gain of runs. I feel that Wisconsin came out of the blocks really quickly, and then for the Sydney Kings, they came back, and, well, that man right there, Adam Thosby, he was just great. 15 points, couple of rebounds, couple of assists. Christian Jelena has good minutes as well. And Dane Pinot, thank you, Mookie, and welcome to the call.
Yeah, our friend Mookie Shirali, the great man. new father too, relatively new father with his beautiful daughter.
Why is he up so late?
I know, that's right. Yeah.
But look, I thought Brad Davidson, most of those points were in the first quarter, and he's finished with 9. He's been good, but I have been impressed with the whole team, the way they run. But yeah, Ethan Happ, he is another level. His footwork is unbelievable, and you can see that in him.
One more shout out, a personal one to me, to another great man and a father of 3 now, Tahi Martin.
Oh, welcome, Tahi.
His beautiful wife, Kerry.
He's silly like me. 3 kids, eh?
He is. And 2 of the 3 are twins.
Wow.
Very hungry, very noisy, I'm reliably informed.
I know 2 are definitely mine, but 3. Hello to my beautiful wife.
Nikki's going to come after you. Look out.
Oh, 3 kids, twins. Whew. As well.
I mean, we talked to Kevin Lish. He's about to have 4.
Yeah, that's just, well, that's just
guy.
crazy. That's just crazy.
We're trying to get Kevin some rest. I mean, one of the things we said
that's
last
why he's
year,
not playing. He's not injured.
We said last year he was overworked, having to play too much defense and do all the scoring.
I can tell you now, a father of currently 2, and he's just about to have twins, he is going to love road trips because he can just sleep all night long. Road trips. I remember, God bless him, Bruce Bolden. He was my roommate throughout the whole season. We mentioned earlier Jonah Bolden just got drafted 36, but in my rookie season, 95-96, Jonah was just born. And then their gorgeous daughter, Cairo, came a couple of years later after that. And I remember each game, Bruce was like, I love going on the road. I just get no sleep. He knows I'm not going to wake him. It was great. So I'm sure that Kevin Lish, of course, a 2-time MVP, an absolute legend, and what a great guy to come with it as well. Yeah, he's going to be loving road trips. He's going to be asking Coach for a few more.
So one of the things you talked about, Brad, was Wisconsin's 3-point shooting, with Pritzel hitting those 2 threes in the second quarter. Are we expecting to see more of that in the second half?
Yeah, I think it will, because I think what Sydney's going to have to do, and if Andrew Gaze is going to cover his guys, because they're not deep and some of them are in foul trouble, they are going to have to camp it back a bit. I don't know if he'll play a zone, because a zone's going to give up too many offensive rebounds, and that's been hurting the Sydney Kings. But I think you will find that they'll get those open looks, because that's just how they play basketball. And if they knock it down, they can break this game open. On the other side, if they aren't knocking them down, and the Sydney Kings on the back of Thosby running, because he can go all night. He's got a motor on him, that kid, and he can go all night. It'll be interesting to see. So I think we're for a great second half. By far, this has been a great game, like the best game we've called so far. And you know that because the crowd's in it, we're in it, we're loving it. This has been a fantastic game so far, and bring on this second half.
Once again, a very good morning to everybody in the great state of Wisconsin, whether you're in Madison or Green Bay or Milwaukee.
Or Bondi.
Might be a certain Green Bay Packer quarterback watching this game just quietly, Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Absolute megastar that he is, and loves the University of Wisconsin.
Is there anything you don't know? My goodness. How did you know that?
I'm just a nerd. That's what it comes down to. All right, we're underway in the second half. Matt McQuaid and Brad Rosen here with you from the Bankstown Basketball Stadium. And straight away, we've got a foul inside off the ball. I believe they're going to call that on Dane Pinot.
Yeah, you're right there, Matty.
Do.
As he's cut, Dane just wanted to let him know, hey, I'm here, and gave him a nice big bump. Good call. I got no problem with that, because they called it in the first half as well.
It's one thing you have an issue with has been foul trouble. The lean forward, we haven't seen too much of him in this ball game. Davison he's been outstanding, and a good front, but they get it back. Pinot, that was a hook then from Hap, got away with it. They fight. Rivers with a board, can't make it. Tip in though, I believe that was Ethan Hap.
Well, that was unbelievable how he got that ball back. The Sydney Kings had that ball and he just snatched it off them and kept that alive. Here's this Dane Pinot going to the block. This is where they'll look to get it. If they can't get it to him, a double high post, and he can go to work down low.
Garlop, they leave him open. Pushes off, fires away, and short. And Hap just gobbles that rebound. Trice. Hap, not really known as an outside shooter. Great cut by Davison and a fine pass by Ethan Hap. And this young man does it all.
Well, here's
scoring, rebounding, assists, steals, you name it.
Sorry, Matt. And here's the one now, Dane Pinot. This is where it hurts him for that little bump foul, because that's 2 very quick fouls now. Now, he's only got 2, thankfully, but now you get 1 more. These are the ones that really hurt him. Those little cheap fouls.
Brad Davison knocks it down.
Of course, we had a Brad Davidson. Yes, he played for
Townsville Crocodiles, of course.
Townsville, then went to Cairns after that as well.
Yep. And Brad Davison, freshman for Wisconsin, he's got 11 to lead the Badgers.
Very impressive, really. I love his balance and the strength that he's got.
Strength has been the real standout for me when they've had him in the post so many times.
He's got a motor as well. You can see he's into this.
Cruz off the pick. Gets it into Pinot. Now Humphries, quick passing. Thoseby fumbles it. 5-4, jacks it, and short. And there's Trice on the glass. Davison. Now they leave Rivers open for 3, and that's short. Thoseby corrals the board.
Well, it's a little bit of a start as a foul's going to be called there. Down low on Wisconsin. It's a little bit of the same start like we had in the first half, Matt. Kings really not doing anything offensively. Wisconsin have come out, played solid. They're now up by 4 so far.
Yeah, definitely got the energy up again. And once again, you're right, Brad. It's a good call. Kings looking just a little flat coming out of the halftime break. Nice pass from Thoseby inside. Pinot finishes strongly off the window.
Well, good catch and finish. Great pass as well. Good offense by the Sydney Kings. They needed that settler.
Forward. Hap looking to go to work. Kicks it out. Rivers again. They leave him open and he can't make them pay. And there's Hap again.
He's got a magnet on his hands. He's just unbelievable. And not only that, okay, Kings get the ball back, but now they get next possession arrow. So it's just a great job. But I do want to go back to that. What a beautiful move by him to be able to kick it to the wing for the wide open jump shot. That play is underrated in this game where he just created a wide open jump shot from just a flat out beautiful play.
Thoseby using the Pinot screen. Pulls up and hits.
That's better. Nice move going towards the basket. Finishes nicely. That 3 that he took before was a rush shot. That's better offense.
17 for Adam Thoseby. Forward. Hap looking to go to work against Garlop. Oh, they double team him quickly. It's knocked out of bounds by Pinot. Smart play, but it'll be Badger basketball with 6 on the shot clock.
Now, I haven't seen this team play a lot, and I haven't seen him play a lot as well. The only thing I would say, he doesn't take enough shots.
Oh, spin move. Oh, his footwork is just an absolute standout, this young man. Ethan Hap. Tremendous play. And knocked out, almost knocked away by Trice, but Kings get it back. Quick passing around the perimeter and knocked away nicely by a lean forward. Sydney possession with 10 on the shot clock.
Good hustle by Wisconsin. Yeah, just going back, like Ethan Hap, he has people at his will with his footwork, and he just needs to take more shots.
Humphries, Garlop, 4-3. Garlop with a step through and a fade, and it's in and out. And Ethan Hap grabs that board. And Humphries is going to get called for a very cheap foul.
That was a cheap foul. Correct call, Matty. I mean, if you're going to call that, you've got to call everyone, and we're going to be here all night. So that's his third team foul. And this is where we were talking in the first half. This is something that could come back to really bite the Sydney Kings. Foul trouble and then just running out of players' depth.
Van Vliet. Davison. 11 on the shot clock. Davison goes baseline into the traffic and scores off the window. And there's that strength and body control we've seen from Brad Davison. He's got 13. Cruz exploding, now kicks it out. Thoseby, 3-ball. Now Adam Thoseby, he is feeling it.
Great
Give
work.
him
20, isn't it, I think, Matt?
20 for the game.
Yeah, that's great work by John Cruz, though. Good drive, kicks it out to the man that's feeling it.
Now hook shot inside, and there's that man once again, Ethan Happ. 5 of 11 from the field. He's into double figures, he's got 11. Thoseby has been on fire, jacks it from deep. Oh my, Adam Thoseby, 23, and ties it at 48.
I interviewed him at half-time, and I said about Leonard Copeland, if that's not a Leonard Copeland move, nothing is.
He's already got 8 points in the quarter. Van Vliet, he fires for 3, and that's short, and Pat can't save it. Sydney basketball. And some substitutions coming in. Khalil Iverson and Ilakainen coming into the game. You can see Thoseby, 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists.
Yeah, Andy Valverde, he's had some looks, hasn't he, tonight? And he's, at the moment, 1 of 5 from the field. So the coach takes him out. Not happy, obviously.
Cruz. Thoseby working crazily hard off the ball. Kicks it out. 7 on the shot clock. Cruz just jacks it and parries a long-range triple. 51-48 Sydney lead. Things really starting to open up. Here's Trice firing away and hitting. And he has been very impressive. Young Dimitri Trice.
When you're playing defense, you've got to know who you're guarding. And right now, every time he goes right, he jumps it up. It's a beautiful move there by Isaac Humphries, and he'll go to the line for 2. But just talking about Trice, every time he goes to the right, he's got that jump shot. You just got to know now, either you got to trap that or force him left. Make him do something. He's obviously not as comfortable. He'll keep going there on his ride all night long.
And Humphries is going to shoot 2, and it's good to see him. He's really gutting it out because we talked about it. He's struggling, but he's out there, and he's gutting it out, and makes the first.
Well, he's dominated the first few games, and that he's only taken 3 shots tonight in 19 minutes, and that tells you where he's feeling. So he's only got a couple of rebounds as well. Look, he's done well defensively. His presence is what they need out there, but there's no question he's low on juice.
Once again, some real heat up the floor. King.
Well, here's this zone. When they shoot free throws, they press up and go back to that zone. They're going to try and make Wisconsin shoot the 3. Now they want to get that stop and go.
Oh, Trice just missed it. In and out. Cruz. He's got Thoseby if he wants him. Pinot instead straight to the rack off the window. That's a nice play from Dane Pinot.
And that's what happens when you start launching 3s and they're not dropping. And there's the turnover as well. Things just not falling here for Wisconsin. A couple of subs will be made.
Coach Gard ringing the changes, and Ethan Happ, who looks absolutely exhausted as he goes to the bench. He's done it all.
Well, we should also mention, Matt, it's a tough trip for these kids, you know. Like, a lot of them haven't been overseas. They come out here, they're playing a number of games, they're traveling to different cities on a completely different time zone, might add. They're training, as a foul is going to be called there against Wisconsin. John Cruz hits the floor, but it is tough. They're also playing a 24-second shot clock where they're used to a 30-second shot clock. That slows the game down a little bit more. So there's no question the coaches from, the traveling teams, and in this instance, Coach Gard, they love this type of stuff. This is just what they're here for. And win or loss, of course you want to win every game, but they want to get the most out of it. And tonight, they're really getting tested.
Malone. Thosby, and they knock it away. Nice play, Nathan Rivers, and that's a foul on Darcy Malone. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's picked up his 4th personal foul. We'll just check that.
Well, I think they just
out
called it out of bounds. Yeah, which I think he was lucky because it was a foul.
I thought it was a foul. Right. Kick it around the perimeter. King, who's been very quiet, and he's been impressive.
Well, let's see if he'll go to his right here, and can they stop it?
And there it is. Trice kicks it out. Ruvers straight away 3, buries it.
Great move by Trice. Beautiful shot as well. Ruvers did a good job to get the turnover there in the first half anyway.
And he's got 6 points now, and that's an offensive foul. That is a foul that time on Darcy Malone. And Dengakuth, 7-1 Sudanese Australian, comes into the game, and that was the 4th personal foul. Certainly lucky he wasn't called for that earlier one, because that would have been his night done.
I think the only person that's even more upset than he is Isaac Humphries. Really? I got to play more minutes? He's got 4 fouls. Take me out, coach. I'm not feeling well, he's saying.
Iverson. Now Thomas looks to attack and throw down a hammer. Instead, he'll earn himself a trip to the line to shoot 2. And
Isaac Humphries, 4th personal foul.
That's Isaac's 4th personal foul. Yes, Brad Davison is going to come into the game to replace Dimitri Trice. And Humphries sits with his 4th. Andrew Gaze is looking at his bench going, all right, well, who do I have next?
He's like, he's got 4? Andrew's just saying, really?
King's just playing with 10. The only player we haven't seen yet is young Clayton Carfino, who's a guard. Yes, Thomas makes the first.
Andrew's just looking over at the bench, just sort of asking when it happened. And we just heard the bench say that Isaac got 2 in the first quarter, and now he's had this one, obviously, so that's 3. And I think they said the other one came in the second quarter. They're just double-checking that anyway.
Once again, we're tied at 55. Akuth.
This is some big couple of minutes here for the Sydney Kings. Their players are in foul trouble. Their big guns aren't in the court at the moment. Tommy Garlip faces away, and he does that so well. Hits the 2, beautiful. But just a big couple of minutes here. They have to stay in the game at the end of the second quarter there. That really hurt them when they came down at the end.
Davison looking inside, and it's knocked away briefly, but they get it back. That's a sensational pass. Great look, and well done. Good recovery initially by Akuth to block it, but then Ruvers stays with it, and he will shoot 2 from the free throw line.
What about the pass from Iverson? Wasn't that beautiful? I think he was the only one in the stadium that saw that one open, and he bullet passed it across 2.
And speaking of Iverson, I'm sure US commentators are going to have a great time with this team this year. There's an Iverson and there's a Kobe. Kobe to Iverson or Iverson to Kobe. They'll love that on SportsCenter. 2-2 at the line, and Nathan Rivers really starting to heat up here. He's got 8, and once again tied at 57. What a ball game here at Bankstown. Thosby fouled that time by Khalil Iverson. No, check that offensive foul. Looked like Thosby was bumped by Iverson. Instead, they're going to call a moving screen on Dengakuth.
Well, there's been a couple of calls like that, and Andrew Gaze, he's just not happy because he's saying, can we get that every single time if it's going to be called like that?
3 fouls for Akuth. The Kings in very heavy foul trouble. Thomas. And throws it straight almost to Weldon. Davison somehow gets it back. Still Davison straight to the rack and score it. And Brad Davison having a fine game. He's got 15, and the Badgers take the lead.
Well, the Sydney Kings just feel like they're just hanging in here. They really, really feel like they're making some flat-out plays, and that's a foul there against Wisconsin. But the Sydney Kings, everything down the offensive end for Wisconsin looks easy. They're getting layups, they're getting jump shots, they're getting everything. But defensively, offensively for the Sydney Kings, everything is against the muscle. Some are dropping, and it's keeping them in the game. But you're not going to last for another 11 minutes and 31 seconds like that.
Next foul puts the Kings in the bonus. Weldon. Thoseby pulls up from the baseline, and that's way off. Rebound, Thomas. Look at Davison just fighting for position in the low block. They get it to him. It's the smaller Weldon. He's going to attack him. Davison goes into the paint. Inside, Akuth knocks it away initially, but well stayed. Charles Thomas stays with it and scores, and Wisconsin has a 4-point lead. And as you said, Brad, right now, Kings barely hanging on. Garland throws it out. Thoseby jacks it. Whistle. No basket, or do they count it? No, they wave it away. There's a foul.
This has been called a tech foul on the defensive end for a flop. Now, we didn't have a great angle of that, and Wisconsin have no idea what's going on because that is not a rule I'm sure they're used to. So they've called a tech foul for the flop.
So instead of the three, which swished, they get one shot and possession.
Side possession. Now, the rule in the NBL states that you do not have to give a warning if it is a flop, and this is the rules that we play under here. If it is a flop and the referee believes that the defense has reacted more than what the offensive actually created the contact, that is cast as a flop. If they feel it was an over-exaggeration, an automatic tech foul. That was what was called then. So it's now side possession after making the free throw. Sydney Kings get the ball and they play on.
Thoseby with 24 on the made free throw. Akuth. Weldon. Back to Akuth on the pick and roll. Akuth rejected. Thrown out, and it's knocked away, and it'll still be Sydney possession.
Well, I'm loving the energy of Wisconsin here. They're just flat out balling at the moment. They're doing it on both ends of the court. They're now talking about the full reset.
It'll be Thoseby to inbound.
With a full 24-second shot clock as well.
Jelena. They're really attacking Thoseby. Garland pulls up and in and out. Rebound. Nathan Rubers having an excellent second half so far. Shot and game clock identical. Here's Davison attacking off the window. No good. Another offensive rebound. No. They're going to call a foul on the floor, I believe.
Yeah, right call. As he went up to get the offensive rebound, and that's Charles Thomas the fourth, he actually had a hold of his singlet. You just saw the referee. So that was as he was going up for the rebound. He then came down with the ball, so that's the right call. It was before the shot, but he will shoot 2 free throws because the Sydney Kings are in the bonus.
And that's Deng Akuth's 4th personal foul. And you've got Akuth, Humphreys on 4. And Darcy Malone on 4 as well. Misses that one there.
So the Sydney Kings have 4 seconds left here, which is plenty of time in a basketball game to be able to get a good look.
One or two for Charles Thomas. Weldon. Pulls up. That was after the buzzer. And we are through 3 periods here from Bankstown. It is Wisconsin 62, Sydney Kings 58. We're going to take a break. Stay with us. We'll be back.
It's a win for the Sydney Kings. What a performance from the Sydney Kings tonight.
The Kings are ready.
The Kings are back.
The Sydney Kings.
Sydney Kings.
The Sydney Kings.
The Sydney Kings. The Sydney Kings. This place is going on.
Welcome back to Bankstown Basketball Stadium. Once again, that score, the Wisconsin Badgers 62, the Sydney Kings Invitational team 58. And Brad Rosen, take us through the 3/4 time stats.
Yeah, everything's lifted here for Wisconsin, shooting 44%. You see their three-point percentage still a little bit low, but they've hit a couple of threes. Free throws, well, they've got to the free throw line more. Rebounds, you just see overall they've really started to claw their way up into this game. 24 points in the paint, and everything you can see, they're just gradually. This is going to be a big quarter if the Sydney Kings can stay in here, because Wisconsin will keep going. I've been saying it most of the night. I just don't know if they've got the depth, the Kings, to be able to go with a 17-strong bench for Wisconsin. But overall, well, to me, Ethan Happ has been outstanding. I know Brad Davidson's got 15 points, 7 of 7 from the free throw line as well, but he's been great. For the Sydney Kings, it's been a one-man show. Adam Thosby there, 24 points. Dane Pinot showed good minutes in and out. Christian Juliana, 7, but really it's been on the back of Adam Thosby keeping him in this game. Really, from the three-point line, he's been great for him. But as I said, Wisconsin, well, they've been very, very impressive. I've really enjoyed watching them play. Happ just seems to have a knack for the ball. Everywhere he can be, the ball is, or everywhere the ball is, he is. And then, of course, you talk Brad Davison.
And just a message for Sydney Kings fans from Sydney Kings Managing Director Jeff Van Groningen. There's been a lot of question marks around the imports and the 11th roster spot and when all that's happening. So we've had it confirmed. Perry Ellis will be arriving in Sydney on the 3rd of September. Travis Leslie around about the same time frame, probably the same week. So the two imports will be in town very soon. Now, as for the 11th roster spot, Mr. Van Groningen says that will be at least another week and a half before a final decision is made. So there's plenty of mystery surrounding that one. So stay tuned. But good news. So we'll get I was talking to Andrew Gaze before the game, the three boys that played in the FIBA Asia Cup, the gold medal winning Boomers, Newly Cadee and Blanchfield. They'll be back tomorrow, but probably hopefully back in training on Thursday. So we're underway in the fourth period here. Tremendous game so far. Great pass, Trice. Good night.
Well, there's Trice again going to his right. It's just his strength. It's what he does well, and that was a great effort.
Ethan Happ just with that excellent movement off the ball, and Trice found him with a beauty. Cruz tries to find Pinot, and he knocks it out of bounds. Now, no, they're saying it was knocked off Wisconsin last. The Wisconsin bench were up as one on that one.
Coach Gard is right into the referee. Love it. He's into this game.
A lot of travelling supporters here, which is also great to see. A lot of these people have come on tour all the way. I mean, it's a heck of a trip all the way from Wisconsin. That time they get it back. They're happy about it on the bench.
I'm just watching Coach there, and he let the referee know.
He's probably thinking that's a bit of nice karma for us. Wisconsin looking to extend this 6-point lead. Iverson. Ruvus. A little bit stagnant in this set. Trice is going to look to make something happen. Look for that two-man game. There it is. Great pass inside. My word. That is the way to run a half-court offense. They run the pick and roll. Then they get the high-low out of it. A super feed by Ethan Happ. It's an 8-point lead to Wisconsin. Timeout, Sydney. Brad Rosen.
Yeah, look, we've been saying for the last few minutes, probably most of the second half as well, just the Sydney Kings just look like they are out of juice. They've got a number of guys that have played a number of games in this last week to two. They're in foul trouble. Isaac Humphries is not feeling well and on 4 fouls as well. Adam Thosby's been the lone hand so far, but Wisconsin, well, they just look like they are at another level right now. Offensively, they're doing great. Trice, interesting, goes left on that count and then looks to pass it. Not like when he goes right and he's got his jump shot going, but that was a beautiful pass, and well, Happ, he's just another level. Beautiful kick down low for another layup. Out by 8 at the moment, some worrying times for the Sydney Kings. This could be very, very quick out to 15 and 20 if they don't start to make some good offense and stop at the defensive end.
Well, with Isaac Humphries struggling, really, they've only got Thosby to go to, and you can tell every time Wisconsin are defending the Kings, they are blitzing the heck out of Thosby.
Well,
they are basically trying to take the ball out of his hands, make someone else beat them.
Yeah, you should, and that's exactly what... There's Coach Garp's best mate at the moment. So
Matt Townsend.
Coach Gard, yeah, he let him know it. And to Matt's smart move, he's on the completely opposite side of the court to Coach Guard that he can be.
And the Kings with an 8-point deficit. Cruz. Sorry, that was Weldon. Now Cruz. Garlop. We're going to go baseline and draws the foul. And let's see if they give him 2 shots. Referee Brett Hogan signalling that's exactly what they're going to give him.
Yeah.
And
that's good offense from Tommy. He's really the scorer on this court. Thosby's sitting on the bench at the moment. He's played a number of minutes, so Andrew Gaze is obviously going to give him a break. He's played 25.5 minutes of a possible 32 minutes. So Andrew Gaze giving him a rest, and we'll probably see him come on in a couple of minutes to see the game out. But if they can run most of their things through Tommy Garlop, who is a scorer, he has been renowned to do that, this could keep the Kings into the game until they get Thosby back.
And Garlop's going to get one more. Like Rivers was in there too early. Garlop with 7 in the ball game. Make that 8. And it's back to 6. Do they have the legs to sustain one last effort against this very impressive team from Madison, Wisconsin? Iverson.
Well, I like the move from Andrew Gaze. Let's go to the zone. They haven't shot the 3 ball well, so let's try and keep them outside and see if they can shoot the ball, get the defensive end, and run. Great defense by Sydney Kings. Good call up by Change.
24-second shot clock violation, and Kobe King, who's really struggled tonight, he's going to take a seat.
And what an interesting start straight away. The coach brings in Brad Davison straight away for his strength and penetration to be able to break that zone up.
Weldon. Cruz moving off the ball. Try staying right with him. Trying to find Pinot. He's fighting with Happ in the low block. Still Pinot. They double him. Great D, has to kick it out, and I think he was bailed out. They're going to call a foul on Ethan Happ. A hands foul.
I agree with you, Matty. A bit bailed out there. May have been some slight contact.
It's one of those things, Brad, we've talked about, is the kids that come over and dealing with the hand-checking rules.
Very difficult.
And how they're interpreted. Cross-court pass. Jelena pulls up. He had a hand in his face. Contested jumper. Iverson, great play there.
Well, it can't be long until Adam Thosby comes onto the court.
Good call, Brad. He's just about to check in.
They need some offensive sets there.
Happ. So tough down there in the low post. Spin move stripped brilliantly by Christian Jelena. Poor pass, though. He tried to look away to Weldon, who wasn't ready for it, knocked out of bounds.
Unlucky. Good defense, was able to dig down. Happ didn't see him coming. But as you called it, Thosby's coming into the game now. And interestingly enough as well, Isaac Humphries comes in, see if he can see out that 7 minutes with the health that he's going through. Pretty fluey, as you said, and also on 14 fouls.
Andy Van Vliet comes in to replace Nathan Rivers. He's been very solid in this game. 10 points and 6 boards for the big man. Now here's Trice Van Vliet. Happ. What a matchup this is against Humphries. Davison, great pass. Iverson balls his way to the basket, but no, they call an offensive foul, and that's a turnover. So Greg Gard saying he was in the circle, and to be honest with you, I think he's got a point. We actually saw that last night, didn't we, Brad? Very similar play in the Texas Illawarra game.
Well, I thought it was good offense again. Brad Davison gets the ball down low. That's what coach put him in there for. Makes something happen because he's got a smaller man on him. Great cut as well, and yeah, I thought that was good offense. Pretty unlucky there.
Thosby trying to get going after that brilliant first half and excellent third period. Pinot, and there he's out of control, and that's an offensive foul. No! Oh my goodness. The Wisconsin bench cannot believe that that was not an offensive foul. It looked to me that Pinot was way out of control. Instead, they've called the foul on Andy Van Vliet, and that, I'm sorry, that's a terrible call. I had the we had the angle on that.
Yeah, and what makes it a worse call is the play before is very similar. So if you're going to call the offensive at one end, which I guess you know it's the 50-50 call in the game, well then the 50-50 call's got to go the same way. And
Absolutely.
I think that's really hard done by.
They are really hard done by. That was a dreadful call. Nonetheless, Pinot at the line for two, and he makes the first. And unfortunately, ball don't lie on that sequence. So Dane Pinot brings it back to a 4-point game. Kings trying to up the ante defensively. Davison, Trice, just running that two-man game around the perimeter. Davison fires away. It looked good from the moment it left his hand. Boy, they can shoot the rock from the perimeter. 69-62, that's a big triple.
That is a big bucket. I couldn't agree more, Matt. That just lifted their bench exactly what they needed.
Thosby goes into the paint and misses, leaves it short. And who else but that man, Ethan Happ, grabs his 6th rebound. Happ. Yeah, they got that mismatch. Davison with a deep triple! Oh my! Back-to-back threes from Brad Davison.
Wow, hasn't he good? I thought he shouldn't have taken that one. I thought he had Happ in the block, but no siree, and here goes Happ now on the break.
Another steal by Ethan Happ. He has been everywhere. Davison, who is on fire at the moment. Van Vliet looking to establish position in the low post. Fights with Pinot, goes up with a right hand, and that was way off. And here come the Kings. Needing a score desperately. Humphries rolls to the basket off the window. Offensive rebound, Pinot. And they'll reset. 10 on the shot clock. Cruz. Pinot, he fires for three, and that's an air ball. Not really Dane Pinot's range, but the shot clock was running down, so he didn't have many options. And that's going to be Wisconsin basketball. And right now they are just wearing the Sydney Kings Invitational team out as Brevin Pritzel steps in to replace Khalil Iverson. Here's Trice.
The one thing these Kings young players have is guts, and they will not give up until the final whistle. An Andrew Gaze-led team never does. So they're still going to get another shot here if they can play with some energy. Good offense there.
What a
but
pass.
He's just the turning point in this game. What a game Davison is playing.
23 for Brad Davison, 8 in a row, and that off an excellent pass by Dimitri Trice, who has been terrific at the point. Now a foul has been called. No. And that's going to be 2 free throws. As Wisconsin has 5 team fouls in the period, the Sydney Kings none. And I think...
Some home cooking, you think, Matt?
Just a little bit. You can smell that home cooking here at Bankstown.
Mind you, it's about 4 degrees in here at the moment.
It's chilly. Jelena makes the first. And Kobe King about to step into the ball game on the next stoppage. Jelena is 2-2 at the line. It's back to 10. So 4:31 left. Still plenty of time as Davison's going to get a massive hand as he sits on the bench. What an outstanding performance. 7 of 11 from the field. 7 of 7 from the free throw line. 23 points, 3 rebounds and a couple of assists. Super play as they let Happ get all the way into the paint, but he kicks it out and they'll set up a play. Looking to run a bit of clock here. Van Vliet, cross-court pass, King. Happ, 4 seconds left. They've got to get it up. Trice fires and bingo.
Going to that right again. He loves it. He feels in rhythm. Beautiful shot. And again, who was that passer? Yes, it was Happ. Beautiful offense.
Dimitri Trice with 14. Oh, almost a steal by Pritzel. Now firing away and hitting. is John Cruz.
They're hanging in there. They won't go away, but you just sense Wisconsin is out by 10 now, and they just not looking in much trouble, really scoring at ease.
Trice, so impressive in this game. 5 on the shot clock, looks to go to work. Blows past Cruz, misses, tip in by Andy Van Vliet.
Well, beautiful move by Trice. I know he may have missed the layup, but that allows his big to go straight to the glass because his defender had to help out. Good offense.
Humphries looks inside. Somehow Jelena caught it and he missed the jumper. And Wisconsin are thoroughly in control of this ball game. Van Vliet. Trice, they're just going to milk the clock. That's the man you want. Ethan Happ. Oh, straight away pull up is short with it. Rebound Humphries. And still fighting down 12. Pinot establishes position. Great move. Misses. Offensive rebound. Isaac Humphries and nails the putback. It's back to 10.
Great move by Dane Pinot. Really did a beautiful move to his left. And the big man comes in and crashes the offensive glass.
So foul's been called on John Cruz. And it's a timeout. Has been called by the Sydney Kings. And Brad, they're hanging in there, but the one thing they haven't been able to get consistently over the last couple of minutes is stops. I mean, what does Andrew do? I mean, is it time to kind of junk it up a little bit?
Yeah, I thought their best defense has been when they've pushed it up and then fallen back into the zone. I mean, you know, really Wisconsin hasn't shot the ball well from the three-point line outside of Brad Davison. You take him out of that, they are 8 of 20, and he's hit a few of those, but you know, overall, I don't think they've shot the ball well, and really, I think that's what's going to get them in. If they allow Happ and their bigs to be able to get the high-low action, they've been able to score at will. So I think they really need to try and push up the court to make Wisconsin have to use clock. There's only 24 seconds in the shot clock. If you can get them to get the ball over at that 15, 14 mark, well, now they've only got about 6 seconds before they have to get into something quick. And that's when you can start launching from the three, get out and run. Because on the other end, the Sydney Kings are just not going to get it done with a half-court set. We have to remind everyone, there is 6, potentially 7 gun-scoring players not playing for the Sydney Kings at the moment, so it does make it a little bit difficult for them to get the scores, but Thosby's the man that's got to do it for him, and, well, he's looking exhausted at the moment. He's been doing it all game.
Stay with us at the end of the game. We're going to have a couple of interviews. Firstly with Wisconsin star Ethan Happ, and then with the Sydney Kings head coach Andrew Gay, so stay tuned for that. Trice looking inside to Happ. Happ's been in there a long time, and they call the foul. I'm not sure who that was on. Call that on Dane Pinot, and that's his 3rd personal foul. It'll be Wisconsin ball. Sydney just with the 2 team fouls in this period. Happ keeps his dribble. Right hand shot, leaves it short. Offensive rebound, foul, no call. Stays with it anyway, score it. Wow. What a talent he is. Ethan Happ.
Well, Wisconsin want a timeout here. They're a bit disappointed. They thought it should be called on the baseline after the score, but you can't call that.
Humphries nowhere to go, throws it straight to Davison.
And there's that offense, just not enough to be able to get that score. Wisconsin will take the air out of the ball here a little bit, run some nice sets, get that man with the ball right now.
Trice thinks about it. Oh, quick move, throws it up, good.
Beautiful move.
Oh, he's putting on a show. Dimitri Trice with 16 points. And timeout has been called, has it? No, check that. Just a substitution with Jelena. And Coach Gard just talking to the...
Yeah, look, they're just saying to the benches in Australia and in the rules here, you can't call a timeout when you score.
That's right.
He was just asking what's going on. You can in our where we play.
And Thosby throws it away, and that's going to be an over and back violation. No, it must have been touched. Pinot jacks it air ball. Now, this has been an excellent performance by Wisconsin. They've worn down the Sydney Kings Invitational team in the second half, and Davison and Garlop called for the foul, just the third team foul for the Sydney Kings in this period. And it'll be side ball with Kobe King. Wisconsin will go to 4-1 on this trip. And it's been a very productive trip for the Badgers. Ruvers, and that'll be Isaac Humphries' night done with 5 personal fouls. He'll take a seat as Darcy Malone comes in to replace him. And Humphries, his first couple of games for the Kings, both 20-point outings, and he was outstanding against American. Tonight, as we talked about, coming in very much under the weather. And that's right, and if his dad's watching, he's in the United States, the great Steve Mr. Magic Carfino, my sometime broadcast partner. Clayton Carfino. Carfino name synonymous with the Sydney Kings. And there he is trying to steal the ball. Almost got his hand on it. Davison with 2, with 1, throws it up. Akuth gets a block shot. Thoseby sprinting down the floor. Kicks it out. Malone looked like he travelled. Akuth has a look at a jumper and swishes it. Deng Akuth knocks it down as Dimitri Trice will run this game out. They come down, and that's it. It's all over. Teams shake hands at half court, and it's the University of Wisconsin Badgers with an impressive performance. They have defeated the Sydney Kings 83-71 in front of a sold-out crowd here at Bankstown Basketball Stadium. An excellent performance by the Badgers, and they closed their Australian tour with an impressive win. And they've played New Zealand, had a couple of wins over there, lost to Melbourne United, but tonight, as we have a look at the game summary, it was a very solid performance, and you see there Wisconsin shooting 48% from the field, 40% from 3. They started cold and really got hot in the second half. 15 of 18 from the free throw line. Rebound count was important. It's been an issue for the Kings, 34-24. Assist count, 16-13. Points in the paint, well, a lot of that was Ethan Happ, 36-24. And bench points, 19-14, favouring the Wisconsin Badgers. The Kings at just 48% shooting. And you have a look at some of the standouts. So Thoseby, really quiet in that fourth period, finished with 24. He was tremendous in that first 3 periods, and then they shut him down. Dane Pinot, 13. Christian Jelena, 9. Once again, Isaac Humphries very much under the weather as the teams are just at half court taking a photo, and we're going to have the Wisconsin star, Ethan Happ, joining us very shortly with Brad Rosen. And just looking at the Wisconsin individual stats. So they're led by Brad Davison, who was outstanding. 23 points on 7 of 12 shooting, adding 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Dimitri Trice led this team superbly tonight. 16 points on 7 of 13 from the field, 4 rebounds, 4 assists and a steal. And Ethan Happ, I mean, winds up with a near triple-double. He was just outstanding. 15 points, 9 rebounds and 7 assists. Right now, we're going to Brad Rosen, who's got an interview with Ethan Happ.
Ethan, thanks for joining us. That looked like a tough game tonight, but it was a good win. How'd you find it?
Yeah, it was a tough game, like you said. This is a really good team. We just came off a loss, so we were a little hungry, wanting to get a win back in the column. So it was just a team win, really.
Tonight, you really looked like you upped the ante. You came out with a lot of energy. You then they came back and played with a lot of energy themselves, and then you really were able to establish yourselves, get the win in a good long end. Was that what was spoken to at halftime? Just stay with it. You'll wear them out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game of runs. Basketball is, like, as you know, but basically we wanted to keep running the floor and stops on defense, and as long as we could get stops in a row on defense, we knew that sooner or later they'd tire out, and hopefully we could take the win home.
So why don't you tell us a little about Australia? You've been to Sydney now. You were in Melbourne. Where else have you been? How have you found the country?
It's wonderful. You know, I would love to vacation out here sometime, which obviously that says a lot about your country if you want to come here and vacation. So I'm just glad that we've had this experience as a team and bonded and everything, but everyone here is so nice, so love to come back.
You got to climb the bridge. It's a lot of fun. Are you keen to climb the Harbour Bridge?
I'm not afraid of heights, but I heard it's a workout, so we'll see about it.
I really enjoy your time today. Thank you so much, and congratulations on a great win.
Thanks for having me.
Ethan Happ there talking to our Brad Rosen. Very shortly we'll have Andrew Gaze join us in our commentary position. Just talk about the game and what's upcoming for him. So while we do that, we might take a short break. Stay with us. Andrew Gaze upcoming shortly. We'll be back. Welcome back to Bankstown Basketball Stadium. We're in the post-game here. The University of Wisconsin 83, the Sydney Kings 71. And Brad Rosen, just talk about that game and how you saw it and just your impressions of Wisconsin and also the kids from the Invitational team. Because, again, you know, we have pointed it out, very much a development type squad for the Sydney Kings at the moment.
Yeah, I think when you look back at it, it probably went the way we expected it to go. And what I mean by that is I thought Wisconsin, excuse me, I'll just get that right there. I was just doing the interview. I thought Wisconsin did an outstanding job and they stayed with it the whole game. I thought that, you know, the young Sydney King kids is probably the right way to go. I thought they were great. Thosby has really established himself as a player, and I think he'll be good in this league. A week and a bit ago, we got to see these kids for the first time, and there was still that, you know, presence of who's going to get that 10th spot or 11th spot. Yeah. And he's deserved that. From what I've seen of him for the last 3-4 games, he's deserved every minute of it. And tonight, he was another step up as well. So I think he's steadied himself. I thought Isaac Humphries over the couple of games has been great.
Absolutely.
He's really showed himself that he's going to be. Take tonight's game out of it. He obviously wasn't well. Dane Pinot, good, I got it right.
You got that right.
Dane Pinot did you know, enough to say that he'll be okay, but he has got, you know, he needs some stuff, and what I mean by that is he's very foul prone, and that's going to hurt. He's probably not going to play the minutes during the season that he's going to play in these games, so fouls might not be a key. But the one thing that will be a key is he's going to be probably coming on late in quarters. And when you come on late in quarters, that's when there's 3 and 4 and 5 team fouls, and you can't afford to come off the bench and send that player, whoever he may be guarding, to the free throw line. Yeah. So there's some things, and that's what I'm sure Andrew Gaze is talking about. He's looking at the longevity, you know, like he's looking later on down and what these guys are going to do when they get on the court. He's got his MVP in there, in Kevin Lish. that didn't even suit up.
Yeah.
He's got Jason Cadee, Brad Newley, and Todd Blanchfield that are on their way back from winning a gold medal at the Asian Championships, and you've got 2 imports. So they're in great shape. But Andrew will be looking at 1, 2, 3 of these players and making sure they step up.
But tonight, I guess, Isaac Humphries being down physically, and it was clear to see, it's got to be a concern because without him, you're looking at Brad Pinot. There, you got me saying it now. Dane Pinot. And hi to Brad. I know he'll be watching probably in Melbourne. But, yeah, Dane Pinot. And then you're kind of looking at, okay, well, where else do they go? You've got Perry Ellis coming in, who's going to play the 4 spot. But Perry's more of a combo, kind of a stretch 4, if anything.
Yeah.
Sort of in that 6'6", 6'7" range. After Humphries right now, the cupboard looks a little bare in the big man position.
And this is where, I don't know enough about Perry Ellis
Yeah.
to be able to say what he's going to give. We're not a massive league, and the way when I say that, as in players' size, right? So you can have a 4-man that can dominate in a 5 spot in this league.
Yeah.
But I do look around the league, and I'm just not sure where the Kings' depth have gone. I will, at the moment. That's the questions to be asked. I'm certainly not going to be saying they're going to struggle in the 5 spot because I don't know their team well enough. And until we see Ellis and until we see the bigs come back, I can't really comment on that. What I can comment on is that there is a number of teams out there that have real nice bigs.
Yeah, well,
right?
we saw one last night, AJ Ogilvy.
Exactly.
That was the obvious one.
And then, Boone's just re-signed with Melbourne.
Yep.
David Anderson is there. You got Nate Jawai. These guys.
Matt Knight
Angus
in
Brandt.
Perth. And Angus Brandt, I tell you, I think Angus Brandt is set for a huge season based off what I saw.
Brisbane, unfortunately, have lost Cam Bairstow for the season, but there was another big, but we can't bring.
But they've still got Tom Jervis and they've still got Daniel Kickett.
Yeah. And that's why I am a little bit surprised that Alex Marich is not back because I thought he did a great job for them last year.
Absolutely.
But he's gone overseas and played, so there might have been
right.
something in that as well. So look, time will tell. One thing is smart is the Kings have got a 3rd import up their sleeve. They can do something with that if something doesn't work out. They have some very, very clever people in the back area with Jeff Van Groningen. He knows the system. He's won a championship with the Brisbane Bullets. He knows what to do. So, look, I think it's a positive. But I tell you what, they've got to be good because there's 7 other teams that will be. I mean,
it's amazing, isn't it? We talked about it last year, and it was the closest league in history. I mean, 7 teams with an opportunity to make the playoffs right to the last week of the competition. So the NBL, again, going from strength to strength. Talk a little bit about Wisconsin, and we have talked a lot about this, the fact that we have been so blessed to see so many great colleges.
Yep.
And I tell you, Brad, from my perspective, they were right up there with some of the best that we've seen. They were outstanding. When we saw Oklahoma, we were so impressed with them, particularly their athleticism and the speed from that young man, Trey Young, who we both absolutely love. But tonight, the way that team, the way they shot the ball, the way they executed in the half court, the way they defended, particularly in that second half, they are as impressive as it gets, and they will be a real threat in the NCAA this year.
No question. And for our listeners overseas, and hopefully, it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock now.
There'll be a few of them watching now in Wisconsin, so hello to everybody.
It is a thrill for us to have teams come down here as Coach Gaze is coming in, just to see these guys. We will talk a little bit more out of that. I will give Andrew a headset here. We won't make him climb up, or he is going to.
When you're 6'7", nearly 6'8", he doesn't have to climb too much. Turn it up. Oh, you knew I was going to throw that one in. The great Andrew Gaze joining us. And just your thoughts on that game, mate. We thought one of the things that really happened, especially down the stretch, is the guys just looked like they ran out of gas, but they really fought it out, particularly after you gave them that real blast in the first minute after that, that tough opening for you.
Yeah, it was only a couple of possessions, but sometimes you get an instinct, you get a feeling for how things can pan out. And this team's a very good team. They've got a couple of really, really good players. And our intensity levels and some of the instructions that we'd provided, albeit a couple of minutes earlier, weren't executing that first play. So we thought they needed just a gentle reminder of what the plans were supposed to be. And I think we saw some really good things. And unfortunately, foul trouble hurt us a bit, and we weren't able to play our guys as much as what we would have liked in order to give ourselves the best chance to win. But nevertheless, that's not an excuse, because we're trying to build our depth. And I was at the game last night and saw the Illawarra Hawks play, and my goodness, they got 3 Americans and 2 Australian players still to come back in, and they won by 30. So that's a good measuring stick for us, and clearly we've got a lot of work to do. And these great games for us because we learn about ourselves and hopefully can find some areas that we need to improve on.
Drew, I just wanted to ask you, obviously, look, you've got 6 players yourselves that are missing, so and those guys are obviously going to be playing bulk of minutes. But, like, Thosby, I just want to talk about him for a second because he's been great. Like, we've watched him play a little bit, these last week or two, and just talk to us a little bit about him, what you think, his role, because he was dynamite tonight.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a competitive environment because we've brought him in as a guard, and he's actually a very, very good athlete. He doesn't look like it, but he's a very, very good athlete. And we think that his shooting is streaky, but you can see when he gets hot, he can fill it up, and he's got no conscience, so that helps when you're trying to be a shooter. Defensively, we think he can help us, and the big challenge that we face is whether or not we can actually get him to handle the ball and make better decisions in the open court and be able to handle the ball in the backcourt against pressure, those types of things. I don't think we're ever going to convert him into a pure one, but we need to get a little bit more out of him. He did really well on our trip to China, and where he was our leading scorer, and I think that the book on him is that you're dreaming. You're in sort of fairyland to think that he's ever going to be able to handle the ball and make those decisions. But I'm not so sure that that's the case, and we're going to work with him, and it'll be up to him to see how much he gets to play. But he's playing behind some pretty good talent, and hopefully that he can push those guys in practice and help us get better.
You're coming up on a really busy pre-season, but how difficult has it been to kind of be without you guys? I know that it's a great opportunity for Jason and Brad and Todd to go play for their country, win a gold medal, as we said. The 2 imports haven't come in yet. Is it kind of tough for you, from your perspective, to sort of basically put together this group at kind of what's going to be short notice heading into the season?
Yeah, well, it's not ideal.
Yeah.
I look around and I see most of the other teams have got their imports, or most of their imports in place, and they're working out with them as well. But we've got some experienced guys. I love the feedback that I got from our guys that are playing over there in the Asia Games, albeit that they had a pretty significant margin. Just the euphoria of representing your country and competing at a world FIBA international event. I think there's a lot of positives to come out of that for Jason, Brad, and Todd, and I think that with our imports that we're trying to get them here. There's a few minor visa issues that we've had to address.
That's unusual.
But apparently there's been some changing of the rules, and they had to get some things that we're not normally accustomed to. So that's taking a little longer. I don't know how everyone else seems to do it, but we've got the best lady in the business, Lorraine Landon, working on it. So we hope that that'll be resolved pretty quickly and we can get them out here, and then the real work begins. But the good thing is as I've been explaining to these guys, is that they're putting in the work now, and that'll hold them in good stead for when these guys come back. But it'll also provide them with the opportunity to help those guys get with a better understanding of what we're trying to do.
And just finally, we've talked about this before, but the Utah Jazz trip, I mean, it's an amazing opportunity, but then you get one day to come back and play the Adelaide 36ers in your season opening game. Again,
Joey's
not ideal.
happy. Joey's very happy.
Joey's happy. Again, not ideal, but once again, an unbelievable opportunity. I mean, for someone who's played in the NBA, won a championship, of course, with the San Antonio Spurs.
Well,
you're a big part of that team.
I don't know,
huge part of the team.
If you look up irrelevant NBA championship winner in the dictionary, there's a very happy, smiling face of me waving, saying, I'm happy to be there and be a part of it.
But seriously, I mean, it is. It's a phenomenal opportunity. And how excited are you for the club and for yourself as well to go over there and be exposed to that again? I mean, you've been over there already in Summer League with the Indiana Pacers, met the legend, my personal hero, Larry Bird, which, and Luke Kendall's very happy about that as well. But, I mean, how excited are you about that?
Yeah, well, I'm personally really excited, mostly because I'm excited for the opportunity that the players get to compete against NBA players in that NBA environment. It's a brand new stadium, apparently, in Utah that we're going to be playing in. So I think it's just a great recognition for the league, of how far the league has come over the last couple of years, that it warrants – they feel that it warrants NBL teams coming over there to test and help their preparations for their NBA club. So I am incredibly excited about it. And yes, it's if you put your coaches and NBL hat on, and strictly speaking, you say, well, it's not ideal to have to come back and the very next day you've got to play against the Adelaide 36ers. And by no stretch are we sacrificing that game. But if before I even knew the schedule and before we even knew we were playing it, if someone said, well, if it meant that you had to sacrifice a game, would it be worth it? And I say yes.
Absolutely.
It is worth it because of the benefits that not only for the Sydney Kings, but for the NBL and for the sport here in Australia. I think it has a significant impact, and not just the Sydney Kings, but also with what Brisbane are doing and what Melbourne United are doing, also going over there. So we hope that we can represent the league the way it would like to be represented. We hope that we can go over there and be competitive, but clearly it's going to be a challenge for us.
All right, so with that, we thank you very much for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Good luck for the rest of the preseason and against the Utah Jazz, and obviously into the season ahead. Andrew Gaze.
Well done, boys.
Thanks,
And I love what you guys are doing. I've watched the game last night, and I've watched a few of them online, and fantastic. This is very highly professional stuff.
Oh, you're surprised?
You know it is, and you guys are doing an outstanding job, as they did in Melbourne United. I watched that game. So all you guys that are doing this for each of the clubs, it is absolutely fantastic, and it's greatly appreciated by the clubs.
Well, we appreciate that, your kind thoughts. The great Andrew Gaze, the legend of Australian basketball, joining us. And so with that, we're going to sign out here. I'm Matt McQuaid, alongside this man here, Brad Rosen, our expert commentator, who, as always, did a phenomenal job.
Really
it's great
enjoyed
calling
tonight,
it with
mate.
you,
Thank
as
you
always.
very much.
And I got to say, this man right here, James Bowman, who's waving. Now, this is the man for whom none of this is possible without this guy. So he does an absolutely amazing job. Australian Sports Network, check it out on Facebook. That is James. So our next game will be on the 16th of September. We'll be coming to you from the venerable Snake Pit. The Illawarra Hawks and the Sydney Kings. What a game that is going to be.
Looking forward to it already, Matty.
And Brad Rosen once again. So on behalf of Brad and James Bowman, our entire production crew, Noel on the camera right behind us, we thank you for coming tonight on the Australian Sports Network. Stay safe wherever you are. Good night.